So it's a nice rainy Sunday morning here, so I thought I'd do some videos. Today I'm going to look at a couple of things. You're probably wondering, what does "do we really need AI Tim Burton" mean? Well, there's a couple of things happened recently in the AI sphere, which means that we may not be able to use artists and their styles as part of our art. So I thought we could have a wee discussion about that and maybe look into it. For those of you in the know, I'm directly talking about the new Stable Diffusion version 2. They have removed artists that have requested. I think they've removed artists that requested, or they've just removed it altogether. So, you know, this is going to have quite an impact on people who use things like Tim Burton, things like Greg Rutkowski, all kinds of stuff. There's loads of stuff going to happen. Now, seemingly, Stable Diffusion are going to correct this, so we'll see if that actually happens. But I just thought I'd kind of jump through it a little bit and see what's what. So, firstly, this is Dream Studio. This is the Stable Diffusion online GUI. Now, I've been using this prompt and variations of it recently to create some very specific art. Some of you may or may not be old enough to remember a movie called The Never-Ending Story. I've just messed around with it. I was just really trying to see what I could get. Now, this is Stable Diffusion 2.0-768. It's, you know, I don't know what these are. I have no idea what these results are. This was the same prompt in German using 2.0768. As you can see, it's picking up on Tim Burton more than anything else. This was the prompt using, I thought that was using something else. Tell you what, let's just start with something simple. So we'll just do Alice in Wonderland, a Tim Burton movie. Right, and we'll use, let's go through them all. So I'll do V4.1 and I'll do 4 images, that's enough. Right, let's see what happens there. The reason I'm doing this is because this can be this might be rather important. There seems to be something wrong with my YouTube chat for some reason. Right, so I've put something in there just in case it's just me, but well, that seems to be working. So right, okay, we'll just get rid of that, just keep that up. Okay, so Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton. Okay, don't know what to make of that. Let's see what 5 does. Right, so I've just done it in Midjourney as well. So 1.5, yeah, okay, so look, it's even trying to write it in there, but it's pretty disturbing. Granted, there is no, you know, I've not done anything to it yet, it's just a basic. But this one here, I could probably guess maybe that one, and maybe that one, and that one. Maybe those 3 is Tim Burton, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Now we'll go up to Stable Diffusion 2, do the same again. Now, from what I've read, I've actually missed the meetings, but from what I've read, they've removed all of the artistic styles. Funny enough, from what I can see so far, yeah, that doesn't look like the case here. However, there is another aspect to this we need to consider, but we'll get to that in a minute. So that's Stable Diffusion 2. That's very, you know, that looks like Tim Burton. That's definitely Tim Burton-esque. So is that, and so is that. And on 768, let's see what happens. I'll just show you what I got with the same prompt from Midjourney. Now, the Midjourney one is awesome. You know, that is mind-bogglingly good. However, I'm not really sure if Tim Burton's aesthetic is in there. It does seem a bit like it's been stylized in the background with additional work on my prompt, but we'll get to that. So what one is this? This is Stable Diffusion 2.0768. So, I don't see Tim Burton's influence there really, compared to that, which was 2. That was 1.5. And that was 1.4. So 1.4 is the worst, I would say. 1.5 is very Tim Burton-ish, but a bit mental. That's very Tim Burton-ish as well, and a bit better. This one, I would say, is a good one. And then that's nothing like Tim Burton, I would say. So it's all very confusing at the minute. I don't really know what to make of it. Let's see if we can pop over to Night Cafe. And let me just undo that. I'll use the same prompt in Night Cafe using Stable Diffusion. And let's see if there's anything different. I'll just leave, what was the Dream Studio at? 5125. So I'll leave it at square. I'll do the same 4 images and I won't touch anything else. Now wait a minute, what was Dream Studio on? What was the sampling method? Automatic choose for me. I don't remember that. Oh, it was because it had clip guidance on. So we'll just leave it as it is. Clip guidance we'll put on to fast. And we'll create. So currently, at the moment, for purely stylistic, cool outcomes, Midjourney is head and heels above everybody else, in my opinion. It just is. Now, you're getting your kind of AI text-to-image snobs coming out, which I find hilarious, because they're saying, oh, it's too easy, it's too this, it's too that. It's like, all right, okay. Everything's got to be hard for it to be, you know, good. I wish these people would just go away, really. If I make something that I get some enjoyment out of it, then as far as I'm concerned, rock and roll. If I need do I need to sit and, you know, go over a prompt 50 times? You know, the prompt's got to be like a book. It's got to be really clever because we're using all of these fancy photography definitions and all of this bullshit. Well, no. I think people who say that you've got to do that to get a decent result, or something that's worthwhile, or that you can call your own, or whatever bullshit they talk, I think they're all full of shit, basically. If you do something that you like and you enjoy it, and it's a 3-word prompt, good for you. Well done. You've not wasted your money, you've not wasted your time, and if it's something like Night Cafe, you haven't wasted your credits to get a result that you like. Now, I'm not saying that using long, complicated prompts is a waste of time. It's not. I'm probably more on that side myself, because I like to get little nuances in the stuff that I'm doing, and especially in Mid-Journey at the moment. You know, if you only use a couple of words, you're going to get a very stylistic result that really might not be what you're looking for. You know, that's not what I'm looking for when I put in Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton. You know, that's, you know, probably in here, it's probably better to do this. Art by Tim Burton. Alice in Wonderland. I'll probably get a better result with that. But whether you get a better result spending 150 credits, constantly evolving and using complex prompts, if that's the way you do it, great. If somebody else sticks in 6 words and gets a fantastic result, and that's the way they do it, then great. You know, it's amazing how people get so attached to things like, oh, you know, this, you know, who cares? You know what I mean? Why waste your time complaining? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, enough of my rant. So, Night Cafe's done not bad. But again, what we're probably seeing here is prompt specific. And by that I mean, if I take the prompt that I just put in Mid-Journey, but again, you know, Mid-Journey's still very stylized. It is way more Tim Burton-y now, though, if a tad scary. And I've been doing a lot of work on this. If I just go to my Mid-Journey page, we can have a look. Come on in, let's have a look at them. Right, so I've been doing a lot of work with some stuff, especially the stuff I've been doing on the Never-Ending Story. You see there's a lot of stuff there. So the prompt is art by Tim Burton, The Never-Ending Story as a futuristic sci-fi epic. And I started adding to that. Now, these are fantastic, and I could use my imagination to get the Never-Ending Story from this. For those of you that don't know what it is, I think it was it the 80s? God help me if it was the 80s. 85. There you go. So I was 13 when they released it. So it's a great fantasy movie. It's very 80s, but it's good. So this is what it looks like. This is the aesthetic of that. Now, of course, I can get that from that because I've seen the movie. But I wasn't wanting the actual movie because it wasn't sci-fi epic. It was a fantasy film. But I wanted to try and mess around with words to see if I could create almost, you know, something like the Never-Ending Story 2. You know, and these some of the images I got are like just mind-boggling, and they're on point. You know, the AI in this instance has also taken, and it does this all the time, it's taken Tim Burton literally. So that looks like Tim Burton to me there, and this is Tim Burton here, but that one isn't. So you've got to deal with it doing that. You know, these are images of Tim Burton as the AI sees it, but that's amazing. I love that, and it's done that quite a lot. You know, so the whole point of this is, can we get stylized images like these, as good as these, without using an artist's name, or in this case a director, who have very specific styles? You know, that's probably, yeah, that's a more complex, and I've thrown Picasso in there to try and change it around somewhat, and I've upped it with some modifiers here, just to try and get some madness. But look at the eyes and stuff, you know, they're wonderful. Oh, Luftitch, do you still have a black screen? Hi Harry, Halloween's been and gone, man, but happy Halloween. Does that mean that it's not streaming properly to Twitch then? That's kind of interesting. I am actually using Restream at the moment to try and to stream to both Twitch. Oh, it is black. It says offline, even though I don't really use Twitch that often, but look, it says the session's been going for 16 minutes and 50 seconds. It's a black screen and it says offline. And it says I'm live. That doesn't make any sense. Oh. Luftitch, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it in there if that's doable for you. I don't know why the Twitch isn't working. Oh, Harry, did I forget to take? Yeah, I must have forgot to change the title. I'm a nightmare, aren't I, really? I thought on YouTube I'd changed all of that. Oh, it's not right. Granted, it's Sunday morning, so, you know, don't kill me for that. Oh, it does say Halloween waffling. Oh, one of these days I'll get it right. One of these days. I think this is the link for the YouTube channel. Where is it? Yeah, Luftitch, you can try that link. I think that will get you onto the YouTube tab. I don't know what's going on with Twitch. I think maybe I should just ditch Twitch, you know, because I always seem to have strange problems with this. How can it say it's offline, say the session's been running for 18 minutes and it's live? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Restream. You know, it's there, look. You know, I've told it to do it. So I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, the YouTube one seems to be fine. So sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. Or maybe I'll just do it in YouTube from now on. But yeah, I've kind of lost my place now. Yeah, the new. This is all basically because of what Stable Diffusion have said, that they're going to start removing. They're going to start, or they have, in the new Stable Diffusion 2, they've removed all of the artists and the styles. I don't know if they've removed everything, but they've definitely removed a lot. And one of the reasons, if I go to my, now does this, let me have a look. See, this seems to have changed as well, because you used to be able to type in Greg, like anything, and it would give you, you know, it would just give you a list of everything that you've done. There doesn't seem to be. Let's try Greg. I can't remember his second name. See what happens. Because, right, some of these may have, right, okay, there's one. So that's one I done in Midjourney. Well, there's maybe a better one I've done. Are these all Gregory? Greg Rutkowski, because he started complaining, didn't he? Because he done a Google search for his name to see if he could find an old piece of art he done, and the only art he could find, and the only art that he found was AI art. Hi Roxy, nice to see you. Harry, this in here is Stable Diffusion 2 at the moment. So through, I think the guy's name's Emad, the guy that's kind of responsible for Stable Diffusion, or the head and all the other guys. They've said that they've removed artists and kind of art styles and stuff. Yeah, Harry, let's shall we just test it? So let's test it on 1.5. Let me just go and make up. I'll just use if I can remember where it is in my mess. I'll just write a basic prompt. Where is it? Right, so let's go. In fact, let's get some keywords for them. Oh bugger. Right. Okay, so this is art by Greg. Oh bugger. Rutkowski. A landscape of dragons and fire. Right, okay, I know it's stupid, and I'll just put let's just put some basic modifiers in, and I'll put Unreal Engine in there as well. Right, let's see what 1.5 does. Strangely enough, it's one of the first things that people noticed about V2. They started complaining about it. My Greg Rutkowski, it doesn't work anymore, an old prompt that I used. So people were, you know, losing their shit, basically. So I would say that's kind of in his, you know, style. You know, we could probably make it a bit better by going magic, mystical. Let's put depth of field in there. Right, we'll try it again. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Never Ending Story. I grew up with that movie, and I was just, for some reason, I started thinking about it the other night, and I thought if I could see if I could make Never Ending Story 2. But we can get back to that if you like. Right, okay, so that's pretty stylistic, and it's, you know, I'm pretty sure you could say, yeah, that's in the style of Greg. So let's pop it over to 2 and do the same. And by all accounts, this is the first, like, 15 minutes ago when I started this video, 25 minutes ago, this was the first time I've looked at this. So there's been an uproar about it. Yeah, I would be hard pushed to say that was in his style. It looks more cartoonishy. It looks, Christ, it almost looks. I wonder if that's the Unreal influence that's causing that. Unreal. Right, so let's try it again. But it definitely doesn't look like the one when in 1.5 where you use his name You know, I think it's clear just from this image, these images, that Greg's been removed. Yeah, you look at, yeah, that's definitely not him, is it? Not even close. That's more, I would say that's more fantasy, almost kind of, it's almost comic book like. It's cartoonishy, really. Let's go. What are the? Oh Christ! I can never remember this, can I? The best way to do it is Stable Diffusion search engine. Go here. Let's see if we can. Greg. Oh bugger. See if we can find anything in the search engine, and then just use that prompt, and then we'll get a more accurate representation of how much it's changed. Right, I didn't expect that. What about if I wonder if that's how he looks. Right. So it looks like in all of these prompts they've used that, but they don't. Right. Let's look at this one. Jesus Christ, who writes prompts like this? I bet you I could get rid of half of that prompt and still have the same effect. Still have the same. And I don't see Greg in there. So it's not really understanding what I asked, is it? It doesn't seem to be skull by. No, definitely not. Bugger. So I can't do that. Right, so what I can do then is come back to Stable Diffusion and Night Cafe. Let's go for art by Landscape of Dragons, Magic, Mystery, Resolution and Depth of Field, just to keep it basic. So nothing's changed. Night Cafe isn't using the V2, so and I'll just leave it on this, and I'll just remember to change it in there. But who said that they were on the live audio last night? Harry, you were. Did they mention anything about this stuff? Did they mention that they had deliberately removed artists? There is an option. What? An option for artists to say that they've been removed, or I did hear something like that somewhere. Take the clip guidance off. What was the seed? What seed was used? Use that. What sampler was used on that? KLMS. KLMS. Steps with steps. Yeah, I just left everything at normal, didn't I? So that'd be 50. Yeah, so this should be pretty much the same. Oh bugger, I should have done it on 1.5 first, shouldn't I, just to check. So what do you, I'm sorry Harry, what do you mean there's an option? There's an option for artists to speak to Stable Diffusion or Stability AI and tell them to remove their work from their data sets, or you can opt out on have I been trained. So if we put Greg in here. Oh, sugar. So, line 5B training data. Sign into, opt into or out of our AI art system. That's interesting. I want your opinion. Whoever's on the chat. If you were a famous artist, like Greg here, would you opt in or would you opt out? I suppose it's easy for us to say that we would opt in because we aren't them, unless one of you guys is like a famous traditional artist. I guess because I would like to think that I could say I would like my art. I wouldn't opt out. I would opt in because it's a kind of I think it's flattering that people want to use my art. But if I'm losing money, if I'm losing my income, then I'd probably be a bit pissed off maybe. Hi Kemi, how you doing? But I don't know. Would you guys opt in or out if you were a famous artist and all of a sudden you've seen your art being... Now it's not that their artworks are getting duplicated, but their style most certainly is. So would you opt in or would you opt out? It's a tough one. I would like to think I would opt in, but it's easy to say. You know, maybe one morning, you know, you're earning a decent living in the art world and you're getting, you know, loads of people are contacting you every month to ask you for a piece of art, and then you wake up one morning and nobody's asking you for it. So, yeah, I knew that, Kemi, but I didn't want to say anything. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It is a tough one. And I wonder how they filter them out, because I assume some of Greg Rutkowski's artwork in these massive training data models is going to be tagged incorrectly. You know? So his name might be spelt wrong, or it might be back to front, or whatever. So I agree completely, Harry. I agree completely. I think the primary problem is, I bet you it's got more to do with speed and amount. You know, so I can use Greg Rutkowski's name now. Let's see what it looks like, just to see how Midjourney deals. See, that's not Greg Rutkowski. No, so they've definitely done something with him in 2 for sure. Now, is it the same in this one? Because they did say, I didn't catch the meeting the other night, but they did say something about that they were going to change it. It was going to be changed and it wasn't going to be as blah blah blah. But I think the fact that that it's the option to opt in or opt out is now available, we're going to see a lot of changes. Lift it, what you're saying. I do art as a hobby and I use it as self-expression, and judging by the fact it takes hours to make a single art piece and other people can make similar things in seconds and mass produce it, I'd opt out. Well, see, that's kind of what I'm getting at. You know, it's easy for me to sit here and say I would opt in if I was a famous artist, but I'm not a famous artist, am I? And it's not affecting my livelihood at all. You know, however, this isn't new. You know, this isn't a unique situation, because the same thing happened in music when samplers were created, where you could take a drum loop, for instance, and it's like there's a famous drum loop called the Amen Break that was played on a real drum kit back in the 30s or 40s or 50s. I think it might have been the 50s or the 60s, something like that. And people sampled it, and it's in everything. You've heard, if you're into any kind of electronic music, any kind whatsoever, you have heard an Amen Break. 100, I guarantee it. And so all of a sudden, this one drummer creates this really cool break. Next thing happens, it's been sampled to death. It's in everything. It's been speeded up. It's been slowing down. It's been chopped to bits, but it's still that. And this guy got nothing. This guy basically didn't get anything for it. I think he got some money later on. Some people got together and kind of made a fund or something, and he got some money. But it wasn't just that. It was vocals. It was famous piano lines. Everything just got sampled, and people lost their shit about it. Specifically when I think there was a famous one from, is it Blur, the Unfinished Symphony. There's a part in that, I think it's like one of the main melody or something that was, I think it was the Rolling Stones they sampled it from. And of course they released the track, and the track went to #1, as did their album, and they didn't ask permission from the Rolling Stones. So Mick Jagger lost his shit about it, and they had to remove every version from it for the shops. They lost millions. But it's the same kind of thing that's happening now, I believe. Right or wrong, legitimate professional traditional artists are losing their shit about it. I don't know what to make of it, really. Is it okay for someone to come in here, and into one of the many AIs that's around at the moment and do something like, let's see if I can find, where is he? What happened to him? Greg Rutkowski, famous art pieces. See, well, Harry, this is the thing. I'm no artist. I haven't been to art school. I've never studied art, nothing like that. But from what I understand, even when you're in art school, even if it's one of these fancy ones, some of the ones where all the posh art people go, part of the way that you're taught is to study other artists' methods, their styles, and I think there was another one, but I can't remember what it was, and then incorporate that into your own work. And that's done a lot, I believe. Are they doing what AI art is doing when it uses an artist's name or a style? Is it the same thing? I don't really know. To me, it sounds like the same thing. It sounds like the same thing to me. It sounds like, I decide to go to art school tomorrow. I go to art school and I'm into Buddhism and sci-fi and psychedelic trance. So I go to art school and I say this to my art teacher. I would really like to be able to combine those three things. And he says, okay, so there's an artist that does psychedelic stuff, let's say David Gray. There's an artist that does Buddhist type work, whatever that person's name, and there's an artist that does. So I go off and study them, and I incorporate some of their work into my finished artwork. But it's me, I've mixed it all. It's not. So isn't that the same thing? I think it's the same thing. But the problem is, to be able to make a competent piece of art, and that's using those three people into my own style to make it something competent that could perhaps sell one day. I've basically got to go to school for 4 years at least to learn all of the specific art. Whereas now, I can come up with an accurate prompt. It might take me a few hours to get a really good prompt, but then I can pump out, you know, in Night Cafe, I can pump out 16 images in under 15 seconds. And I can just sit there going like that, do that all day. So at the end of the day, it wouldn't be by any stretch of the imagination easy for me to create thousands of images in that guise. I personally think that's what the problem is. The problem is they're just being churned out like that. And if you have studied art your whole life, you've spent thousands of pounds learning it, and you have been, in some cases, scraping a living because of all of this hard work, but you're just, and now something comes along that can do it all instantaneously, I think I'd be pissed off as well. But what I also would like to think is, I think I would find a way to incorporate it into my own art as quickly as possible. I'd be like, okay, this, because there's one thing I can guarantee 100%, AI art in all its guises isn't going away, and it's only going to get better. So it's similar to the Photoshop thing, isn't it? When Photoshop first came out, photographers lost their shit. So if I was an artist and I was making money off my art, I'd gone to school, all of this stuff, I personally believe someone like that who embraces the AI art stuff and uses it, they're going to be better than people like me anyway. They're going to come up with better ideas. They know words to use to get specific outcomes. They know all of this shit. Granted, I've gone off and I've bought all of my books. I've got books everywhere about art and I can go through and look. But these people intuitively know all this stuff. So they can sit here and go, right, okay, so there's this, let's try this. They could probably use words that mean things in the art world that I've never even heard of. So I think the ones that incorporate AI art into their own mechanisms, into their own method of working, will blow away the rest of us. The rest of us will be going, yeah, my art's really cool. Then they'll do something and you'll go, what the fuck? How did they do that? How did that happen? But, and the ones that don't, in my opinion, are going to be left on their arse, and, you know, out there, left behind, basically. Right, so back to Greg. It does 100%, I would say 100% Stable Diffusion has removed them. It looks to me like he is gone. And if I use, you know, the same prompt in Stable Diffusion Night Cafe, he's definitely still there. So he's definitely been removed. And if I use it in Midjourney, we're going to get, I don't know what's going to happen in Midjourney, because I think they've admitted this, that in Midjourney, they claim that Midjourney V4 is completely new code. It's not Stable Diffusion. Oh, I don't know. I think it might be a variation of that, but I don't know. David H, who is the owner of this, is one smart cookie, so he might have come up with his own code and stuff, and good, fair play to him if he has. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with Midjourney that I don't know what it is. I don't know if they've told us what it is, because every image is so stylized that no matter what you put into Midjourney, you get a good result. It's almost impossible to get a bad result. I got some badish results earlier when I was trying some. So I changed the wording in this prompt. Basically, it was when I started testing, do we need Tim Burton? Because the original prompt had Tim Burton in it, and I removed it here, and it gave me almost, you know, that's almost like a movie poster, isn't it? It looks like it's trying to create something like that. Kemi, David H, his name is. He's the guy that created Midjourney. If I go into, he's there, him there, him. He's the owner, the creator, whatever you want to call it. And he does some really nice talks. He's really open. He's quite a philosophical dude. I think he's like MIT and all that stuff. But anyway, if you go onto their Discord, the Midjourney Discord, and go to one of the talks, it's extremely enlightening, and the guy is, he's easy to talk to and stuff, you know, and he's very, very open. So is Emad, actually, from Stable Diffusion. So it seems to be anyway, I don't know what's going on in the background, you know. I just know that things in Midjourney, look at that. So I've put in art by Greg Rutkowski, landscape of dragons, just that there. Look at the results. They're flabbergasted. Look at the image reflected in the water. I'll upscale that. So Midjourney, for me at the moment, quality wise, what it spits out is the best. However, that is of course subjective, because I would say it's the best because it's that easy, and I'm not it doesn't matter what Stable Diffusion version I use, whether it's 1.4, 1.52, 2.768 or whatever it is. The one in Night Cafe, even DALL-E, you know, I bet you DALL-E's not even close to that. I can check on the DALL-E website, and I can also check on the one in the DALL-E that's in Night Cafe. So we'll do it on both, just for the crack, just to see what happens. And I'll just put it up to 4 images, medium res, and do that. And then what's this? Oh yeah, this is the DALL-E website. So if we put it in there. Now, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, Midjourney, at the moment, because the results are so good, but the results are good for anything you put in there. I think I'll do a test in a minute. So the DALL-E ones are pretty good, but DALL-E always goes a bit weird, like this, when it's fantasy based stuff. You know, it's great at like making a photograph or whatever, but it doesn't really come up with that great results. And the DALL-E in Night Cafe has the same issue. You can see it. The one thing about the DALL-E in Stable is I can, what one shall we use? Let's use number 2. I'll make that, and I will evolve that. Oh bugger! Evolve that one. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can use that as a starting image in Stable Diffusion, and the results you get are not bad. Where's the other DALL-E? There. Now, looking at those results, and then looking at the results that Midjourney spits out, you know, and that is just a basic prompt. You know, it's a very basic prompt. I could add some more stylized stuff, but the result, that, in my opinion, is far superior to anything else. Anything that this is making. Although, if I could bloody remember how to do it. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just download the image. I'll just drop it in there. And then I'll go create Stable Diffusion, choose a start image, use that, choose, and then put the same one in. Just, you know, I would hope you guys would take a lot more time than this than me. We'll leave it at that, but this time I'm going to put the prompt weight up to I never really like going up to 90. Take the noise weight out. I will use the fast clip guidance to get some more detail, and we'll do that. So that's me whacking it up to everything basically. I'll randomize the prompt and we'll go for 16 images. So that's a 16 creditor. But from what I can make out, you know, that's Stable Diffusion 2, the same prompt. That's garbage compared to what it used to be. That's Stable Diffusion and Night Cafe. You know, that's definitely the correct style. That's DALL-E. That's probably the right style as well. I don't need that. I don't need that. So, what did I do? So this is a Stable Diffusion. It's jazzed it up somewhat. So look. So yeah, it's getting better. And I could have used like the two people down there. You know, so that seems to be a good way of using DALL-E and Night Cafe at the moment. But again, you know, I don't know what's going on with Midjourney. And that's it. So I can now do a, right, let's do a little light upscale redo. So, yeah, I'm like Night Cafe is my primary tool, Kemi, and I use it still for getting very specific sizes. You know, on Midjourney, on Midjourney version 4, you can't go above 512, 512, 512. So I use Night Cafe a lot for stuff that I want to make bigger, and it's more stylistic. I think Night Cafe still using Stable Diffusion. It's still, I think it still outperforms Midjourney for being specific, and not what it doesn't do is add loads of additional stylizing on the background. You know, I guarantee you, Midjourney does that. You know, they are adding stuff to your prompt to make it this good. Now, it's great because you can get, you know, but right, okay, that's gone a bit, I kind of like it like that. It's gone a bit fuzzy, but I like it like that. I prefer that to that. That's too polished. But I don't know what they're doing on the background, so how can I plan for that? You know, let me give you an example of a way to tell that they are definitely doing something in the background. What shall I do? 1 plus 1 plus 1. Right, that's all I'm going to do. Now, I know it's a stupid prompt, and I know it's, you know, but what is it doing? Let's see what everything else does. I'm just going to leave everything as normal. Shall I do it in DALL-E? Yeah, I'll do it in here as well. 1 plus 1. Generate, and I'll do it in V2. 1 plus 1. So, whereas the results at the moment for me, the best results with regards to composition and the overall accuracy and stylization is Midjourney's head and shoulders above everybody else, in my opinion. But the fact that it does stuff to my prompts that I don't know what it does is kind of off-putting a little bit. Yeah, you can, Harry. You can get close with SD, with Stable Diffusion. It just takes more effort. So like 1 plus 1, you know what? Yeah, okay. It's kind of what I expected. you know, gibberish. 1 plus 1 here. Okay, I don't know why it's giving me 2 kids using numbers, and I don't know what it's doing here, but that's kind of what I expect. I would never expect to see 2 children show up because I used the number 1, which is quite worrying actually for arseholes that out there that do use this stuff for nefarious reasons. But this is the kind of stuff I expect. Just gibberish. It's just gibberish. It doesn't know what to do, so it's just spitting anything out. Let's have a look. Right, so there's where DALL-E comes into its own. DALL-E is pretty good at picking stuff like this up, although, you know, it's got the ones and stuff. The results from Midjourney. Yeah, I found this the other day. Look at the results for Midjourney. Why? Explain that to me. Why, when I put in 1 plus 1, does it give me a awesome picture of a female portrait? This leads me to believe that there's manipulation going on in the background, way more than there is on any of the other models. I don't know what it is. Is there something there that says, you know, some sort of equation that says something like, if input equals gibberish, create something nice? You know what I mean? Why doesn't it just give me, so, you know, and I can take the gibberish even further. You know, I can go, what's real gibberish? You know, right, so, right, I'll copy that. That is just utter bollocks, is what that is. Yes, Kimmy. Well, we'll soon see. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens with that, and I'll do the same in here. I'll probably need to delete some stuff. And I'll do the same in here. Now, what I like, no matter what you put into the AI, because it's AI, it tries to give you a result, right? So it can't give you nothing because of the way it works. Now, that's what I expect from that. Put total gibberish in, get fucking total gibberish out. That's what I expect. Right. So I think what DALL-E's done, I think DALL-E picks up on emojis. I think they all do actually, and not I think, I know they all do. But DALL-E's, but again, it's still gibberish. No, what the hell is that? It's giving me a picture of butterflies for some reason. I don't know why Stable Diffusion is giving me that with that. That's interesting. Dream Studio's giving me that. What do you reckon? What do you reckon Midjourney's done? I know what it's done. It's given me something nice. Look, funny enough. Look, still female portraits. Absolutely stunning female portraits, may I add. That one's so cool with the bubbles. But why? Why does it default to that? And the only conclusion is that there's tomfoolery going on in the background. Yeah, you're right, Kemi. So and particular portraits at that. You know, if I do a full stop, just a full stop, it's going to give me, well, I'm not going to say anything because if I say something, it'll go and do something different. Now, oh shit. I'll change it to Midjourney 3. I'll just leave everything and I'll do the same thing. I'll wait till that full stop one comes back. But this is something I find interesting, but I also find it a bit disconcerting because it makes it harder for you to get precision in your prompt if they're manipulating the prompts in the background. Hi, the art of Jeffrey Jenkins. How you doing? Look at that. I put a full stop in. What is going on? Why is it doing this? You know? And if I was one of these, let me see how many people I can offend in this one sentence. If I was one of these woke, his, her, maybe, him, not bi, not anything, LGBTQ plus, he, him, everybody, you know, I'm a man, I could get a wee bit upset that, you know, it's all female. It's just weird. It's just very strange that there's definitely something in Midjourney that says if input equals shit, output something stunning, preferably a female portrait. Right, now I've changed it to Midjourney version 3. Let's see what a full stop does. So I'll just put a full stop in there. It's amazing, isn't it? It really is amazing. It really is. I don't understand why. Well, maybe I do understand why they've done it. It's so that people don't come in and who are just beginning and they put in prompts and it just gives them stuff like this, because then you're going to go, this doesn't work, this is nonsense, and you're just going to leave it, aren't you? So I guess they might be thinking it's better to have an output than nothing. It's better to have something cool than nothing at all. Maybe? I guess so. So that's kind of what I expected from version 3, because it's extremely stylized also. You always got these types of clouds, you always get this type of work here. Of course, if you put in more complex prompts, you'll get more, you know. If I use version 3 for some of the never-ending story stuff, right, if I use this on version 3, I should hopefully get something in the ballpark. Yeah, see, but that's also a problem, Harry, because if you look, the female. So one of the reasons you know 100% that something's going on is because the female's basically the same. You know, you would expect, if it's giving you 4 images, like what it used to be, you'd expect the 4 images to be markedly different. So there's clearly a baseline female portrait image that they use, and it probably changes with age. You know, look, you've got the red hair, the red hair, the red hair. Okay, one of them's got grey hair, red hair, red hair, red hair, I guess. So there's something going on. Now, don't get me wrong, I think what Midjourney's doing is top notch, and when I work on prompts for a little while and I can get my images, you know, these images are in the ballpark of what I was after, you know. These are extremely stylized. See, that female's the same as the female that comes up when you put a dot in. You know, it's basically the same. But when I can pull away from that stuff and get, you know, especially stuff like this, that's actually the kind of stuff I was hoping to achieve. You know, that's the never-ending story part 2 for me. You know, so it is unbelievably good and unbelievably useful, but it's weird. Right, guys, I've gone over the hour, and YouTube's been behaving weird if I do videos any longer than an hour, so I'm going to have to call it a day there. You guys, as always, can connect with me through YouTube. through the Night Cafe Discord, through my own Discord, Mac Hart's Tea Party. If you want to hook up with me, if you want to ask me any questions, or if you want me to do some experiments on specific prompts or sort out some prompting for you, I'm always happy to help out, no matter what. I hope you guys got some. Again, it's me just waffling, as usual. I did start off with having a point, but I didn't really have a point in the end. So yeah, it's been good talking to you. I'm going to try and go on, and I'm going to try and do something every other day, maybe. Just depends. But yeah, as always, it's great talking to you. Yeah, I know, Kemi, I forgot to change the I forgot to change it, the Halloween thing. I thought I did, because I thought I'd fixed it, because I put up, you know, I made a little image for why the Tim Burton thing. I made a little image for the live thing, and I just forgot to rename it. I'm an idiot, I know. These things happen. Anyway, it's been nice talking to you, Kemi, Harry, Jeffrey Jenkins. You didn't say much, but thanks for popping in and having a look. And I think we had another cup. Luftdicht. I think that's how, that seems German to me, I think. Thanks for popping in. And Roxy, you too. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy, enjoy your Sunday. Bye bye.